father's love for his daughters is something that only some will be able to fully understand. Being king, however, will be fully sympathized by even fewer throughout all of history. And being softly cooed by your own family, being forced into poverty and insanity as you watch your kingdom crumble around you, with death visiting everyone you hold dear, now that is a fate specifically reserved for those who exist within Shakespearean tragedies. How fitting it is, then, that our topic for this episode follows the tragedy of one such father, who also happens to be a king and a Shakespearean character. He is the poor King Lear, who, over the course of 5 acts, blindly allows his kingdom to fall into disarray after giving his powers of his crown to his corrupt offspring. Lies, brutality, and madness engulf this drama, exposing the animalistic, far from noble side of nobility. I'm Brandon Helm, and this is Stormside. As the play opens, we are introduced to the royal family with the title character, King Lear, in the process of dividing up his kingdom's power to his 3 daughters. He gives away land, knights, riches, and practically all forms of legitimate control over to whoever gives in to his egotistical nature and praises him the most. 2 of his daughters, who are quickly revealed to be interested solely in getting more power, with no regard for their father's well-being, suck up to him and tell him exactly what he wants to hear. They are rewarded for such complacency, and it is then asked what the youngest daughter, Cordelia, has to say. She doesn't overly flatter her father, instead choosing to call out her sisters for their manipulative ways. For this, she is disowned and left with nothing as Lear is consumed by a blind rage. This scene is of utmost importance to the play as a whole, as, while being important to the plot and starting the main narrative, it lays out all of the essential themes that will be followed throughout the play. First, Lear's egotistical ignorance. Lear and another character, Gloucester, for most of the play, are blind to the world around them, which is to say they are ignorant to the true intentions of others, unable to see when those that they trust are using them for their own benefit. There are many instances of eye or vision imagery being referenced throughout the play, and it remains a staple symbol of the play as a whole. Ironically, later in the play, when Gloucester's eyes are brutally gouged out and he is literally blinded, he begins to fully understand the situation he and his kingdom is in. He starts to really see. Another theme set up in this opening scene is the comparison between the nobility and beasts. As Lear describes himself as a dragon, Cordelia describes her sisters as snakes, and many animalistic adjectives are used to emphasize the cutthroat, almost primal nature that these members of supposed higher society devolve into once all cards are on the table. As the play goes on, multiple characters become more and more savage in attempts to retain their power. Eyes are gouged out, as I mentioned, sisters are poisoned, brothers are stabbed, and the final scene is a bloodbath, with almost every major character having died from being entangled in this twisted web of deception full of power-hungry animals. Following the opening scene is a story ripe with familial betrayal, many different forms of complex imagery, and a tragic fall from grace that all culminate in a king devolving from a powerful monarch to a poor, old, dying man hanging on to his own sanity by a thread. Overall, I would highly recommend reading or watching this play performed for yourself. It is a brutal, engaging story that can teach the reader immensely on the nuances of well-written poetry, as well as the artistic way imagery can be used to enhance the meaning of a literary work. That's all I have for now, and I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening, and stay safe out there, everyone. I'm Brandon Helm, and this was Stormside.